What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nate's Road Life. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to save a few dollars and charge your own AC system. Now, we're going to be doing this on a 2012 Ram 3500. This does not matter what vehicle it is. I'm going to use this truck because I just changed the AC compressor on it and I need to recharge it. If you are watching this, likely you have done something very similar and you need to recharge your system. Now, you take this to a dealer and have this done, it's going to cost you $200 to $500, depending. But I'm going to show you how to do it here today for probably less than 50. Let's go check out the tools that you need. All right. So here's everything that you're going to need. Most all of this can be rented. This is a vacuum pump. I rented it from O'Reilly's. This set of gauges here, I rented it from O'Reilly's. This is oil for this vacuum pump. You have to have this. Luckily, this one came with oil, but if not, you're going to have to purchase some. It doesn't cost a whole lot. This right here is a tap for your refrigerant. This just screws on the top. I bought this at Harbor Freight for like $8. Okay. You can buy a whole quart of this stuff at Harbor Freight for pretty much the same price, about $8. This can of refrigerant, mine calls for 2 cans. It actually calls for 22 ounces. There's 12 ounces in a can, so I had to buy 2 cans. It was like $11 a can. So realistically, this was free. This was free. I paid $8 for this. I've got $20 in refrigerant, and if I had to buy this oil, I would have basically $10 in that. So you're looking at $40 basically to do this. Pretty good savings. So anyway, the very first thing that you want to do, you have to make sure that this pump has got oil in it, okay? There's a sight glass right here. It shows oil level right across here. So we will open this lid up, open up this oil here. Maybe. There it goes. And we will add oil until it comes up to the oil level there in the sight glass. Looks like it takes exactly that bottle. I bought some more when I was at Harbor Freight just in case, because I didn't know if this was going to come with oil or not. But here we are. All right, now let's go get everything hooked up to the truck. I'll show you how this all works. All right, so here we are. We got everything ready to go. So the red is your high pressure side, and we've got it hooked up. The blue is your low pressure side. It's hooked up there by the firewall. Now, it's impossible to get these hooked up wrong because the high pressure side, the red, is substantially larger than the blue side in diameter, so it will not fit. How this works, let me see if I can get you over here, get you a little closer look at it. All right. So this here just slides up. It's almost like an air coupling for an air compressor, okay? So you pull up on that and push it down on top of your high pressure side. Same thing with your low. And then this right here is a valve. You turn it down, and then that pushes in the Schrader valve inside of there, which then allows everything to function properly. Okay? So that's how that works. Clip it on, tighten it down, you're good to go. Okay? But make sure that it's backed all the way loose before you clip it down, and then tighten it down. Okay? Now, your gauges up here, you got low and high. Red is high, blue is low. They should both be shut off at the moment. Tighten them down. The yellow runs over here, goes to your vacuum pump, all right? So when we kick this vacuum pump on, start sucking down, we'll open these valves up, and it'll start pulling a vacuum on this air conditioning system. Once it starts doing that, we're going to watch this needle fall. We want it to go all the way down around to the -30. we'll let it run for a while, and then we'll shut it off and we'll let it sit and make sure that it's holding, so that way we can tell that we don't have a leak. Last thing you want to do is go through all this, charge it with Freon, find out that you got a leak. It's all gone. Okay, so let's get started on this. I'm sure that you guys heard the sound difference in the pump whenever it started. You see this needle starting to come down. Well, we want it to get all the way down to -30. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but that's what we want it to go to. So we're going to let it run for a little while until it pulls it down to that. Once it pulls it down to that, then we'll shut it off, close these valves, shut the pump off, let it sit for a little while, and see if it comes back up. If it comes back up, we have a leak somewhere. We need to figure that out and correct it before we carry on anywhere, all right? We'll check back in once this pump's down all the way. I don't know how well you guys can see this steam coming off of this pump, but that's pretty normal. If you turn one of these vacuum pumps on, you see a bunch of steamy looking smoke coming out of it. That's normal. Don't freak out. It's been just a few minutes now. We're still on our way down. It's pulling a good vacuum. So this isn't these rental pumps aren't very big. It's 1.8 CFM. So it'll take it a little while to pull it down. This isn't going to be like a done thing. It's going to take it a minute. So I'm going to go inside, eat me a hamburger right quick, and then I'll come back out here and we'll check on it, see where it's at. I bet it'll be pretty good by then. But like I said, it's going to take it a minute. All right, y'all. So I went inside right quick, ate a hamburger. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but that pump is significantly quieter. That's kind of what happens when they start drawing down a vacuum. They get a whole lot quieter. There's a whole lot less steam coming out of it also. I don't know if you can tell. I mean, there's basically nothing coming out of it at this point in time. And here's what our gauges are looking like. So this one here is pulled down almost to the 30. So that's good. That's what we want. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut these valves off, and I'm going to shut that pump off. I've got a bunch of tools to put up because I just changed this AC compressor today. So I'm going to go put all them tools up, and then I'm just going to let this set overnight because the sun's fixing to go down. I'm just going to go ahead and take a shower, and we'll charge this up in the morning. But let it set overnight, and when I come back out in the morning, we'll see if these gauges are still holding down. If they are, we know that she's holding a good vacuum. I mean, ain't nothing like letting it hold a vacuum for 12, 14 hours. That sure enough beats a half hour, So the more time you got, the better. So I'll let it sit overnight, shut these valves, let it sit overnight, check it in the morning. And in the morning, even if it hasn't came up, I might still run the pump one more time for 20 or 30 minutes just to make sure that it pumps down. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn these valves. Shut them off. And then turn the vacuum pump off. And now we'll come back in the morning and see if all went properly. Them gauges will be in the same spot that they're at right now. So only time will tell. We'll catch y'all in the morning. All right, y'all. So we're back out here this morning. Pressures are still looking really good. So that's what we want to see. That's a good sign. So I'm going to go ahead and get y'all set up on a tripod, get all the rest of the tools ready. I'm going to go ahead and run this vacuum pump for just a little bit longer while I do that. It's probably not really necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway. So let me get y'all set up in a tripod. We'll get ready to put some Freon in this thing. All right, so here we are. We're all set up, got the vacuum pump unhooked. Here's your little bottle topper. Now, this thing, you need to make sure it unscrews all the way. In here, don't know how well you guys can see that, but there's that little rod, little metal rod. When you screw this down, that comes like this, sticks through the bottom, and it pokes a hole. I don't know if you can see that there's a little rubber stopper in there that seals this can. That pokes a hole through that. So that way it'll start letting Freon out. So you want to make sure that it's all the way back to loose, okay? Once it is, screw this onto your can, just like that. Screw it on, ta-da. Now screw it on to here. One important step that I forgot to mention is before you unhook this vacuum pump, you need to make sure that these gauges are turned off, because if you don't, you'll lose all your progress. As soon as you unhook that vacuum pump, it'll right back through. So while these gauges are still turned off, we will screw this down to open it up, okay? And now we're going to have to push this little Schrader valve right here to purge this system. There's air in here now, and we need to purge that out so that way it's Freon, because you don't want to put air into that, okay? So purge this out. Here we go. This Freon's cold, but there it is. The air is purged out. Now, I'm going to go ahead, open this low pressure side, and start letting it take Freon right now. A lot of people will tell you to start the vehicle up and start doing it. A lot of times you can get a vehicle to take part or most of a can of Freon without starting it, which actually helps you, because once you start it up, then your compressor will run. When you very first start this thing, if there's no Freon in it, your compressor is probably not going to run, because it senses that there's no Freon in it. So it's, you know, it's got a pressure switch, and it doesn't see pressure, so it won't run. So if we do this, let some Freon go into it first, that usually helps the system. So let's start putting Freon to it. Kind of shake these cans around a little bit. You can see, I don't know if you guys can see it, but in this sight glass up here, there's some liquid bubbling through it. I hope you guys can see that. That's the refrigerant. But it's chilly outside right now. It's probably in the 50s. So this Freon doesn't necessarily want to take. Just going to have to keep shaking the can around a little bit. All right, so now that we've put most of that can of Freon inside of this truck, I'm going to go ahead and start it up. When you start it, you want to turn the AC to max. You want to turn it as cold as it'll go, turn it all the way up, all right? One very important thing is, before we start this, you want to make sure that all of your hoses are out of the way. You don't want them things getting caught up in the fan or anything like that, getting all tore up. That wouldn't be a good day. So I'm going to go fire the truck up. I'm going to turn the AC on, and hopefully the compressor will kick on and we can get the rest of this refrigerant in there. All right, started the truck up. Hopefully you can hear me good. Started the truck up, turned the AC on. The compressor has kicked on. The gauge has fell. It's kind of cold. I'm trying to shake this can to get it to keep taking Freon. Still taking Freon. We're watching the gauges. Still got quite a bit more to go, but with it being cold outside, it's going to be kind of hard to tell. Well, all right, everybody. We put the required amount of refrigerant in this system. The AC is blowing good and cold. Now, it's in the high 50s right now, so time will tell. We will wait until it gets a little cooler outside, or warmer rather, outside, and make sure that the AC is up to par. If it isn't blowing quite as cold as we'd like, you can always add a little bit more refrigerant if you need to, but um, you want to figure out what your vehicle calls for and put that amount in. All right, you can actually fill by gauges if you don't know how much your vehicle calls for. You can just look it up online. There'll be a little chart that'll tell you, you know, at this ambient temperature, this is what your pressure should be, high and low side, and then you watch your gauges, and that's how you fill it. That doesn't work for us right now because it's only 50 some degrees, and the chart that I can find that shows both high and low side, it only goes to 65 degrees. So I'm not no AC guy. I'm just getting this as close as I can, but I put what the vehicle calls for. Everything's looking good on the gauges. Got good cold air blowing. So I'm going to call this a success. Saved us a good bit of money. Didn't have to go to the dealer. So I hope that this was helpful. If there's anything that you guys think that I missed, please leave a comment. Let me know. And like, comment, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. You guys go out there and try this out on your own. I know summertime's right around the corner. Everybody needs some AC. So give this a shot. If your AC isn't working, see if you can figure it out on your own, save some money. It's really not that difficult. But until next time, y'all have a good one. Peace out.